O'Neal Cruz and Mason Miller completely broke StatCast yesterday. O'Neal with the bat, his exit velocities were historic, and Mason Miller, he kept unleashing that 103-mile-per-hour fastball. Bobby Witt Jr. had one of his biggest games as a big leaguer, and also he hit his longest home run in his young career. The Angels and the Astros, they literally had a home run derby last night, and the Blue Jays, it just got leaked by an opposing GM that Toronto is officially shopping both Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Bichette. We're going to break all of that down in today's MLB recap. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I think that we can get to 500,000 subscribers today, so do me a favor, guys. Hit that sub button. Let's get there today. So like I mentioned, the Angels and the Astros hosted their own home run derby last night. I think there was 6 or 7 home runs in this one single game. Fans, they really got their money's worth. Rengifo, he popped out a 2-run home run, and then Kyle Tucker, he cut it back to a 1-run game. He has 16 home runs already. It's a tie ball game now. Jordan, he went back-to-back on back-to-back pitches. Zach Neto, did he go yard? He does not go yard, but he does reclaim the lead. Rengifo, he added to it with an RBI, his 3rd RBI already of the game. Okay, now it's back to being tied. John Singleton is not a singles hitter. He blasted off for the 5th time this year, and so did Kevin Pillar, which is now 12 fewer than this guy. Kyle Tucker hit his 17th home run. He already has 4 multi-home run games. He's number 1 in all of baseball and F4 right now. So this game needed some free baseball to settle who's the winner. Hader, he got Pillar, Ohapi, and Joe Adell to all go down swinging in the 10th inning. He's back. Jeremy Pena, he's already proved that he's been back. That walk-off single got the Astros to 2 games back of the Rangers if the Rangers don't get a W down in Philly. Now, Ranger did get a W. No, not the Rangers. Ranger Suarez, he came in with a 1.37 ERA, and he struck out 2 in the 1st inning. Then he got right back to it in the 2nd. He struck out Duran and Lowe, make it 5 strikeouts through the first 2 frames. Now, Ranger did allow a run on an RBI double to Simeon, but Schwarby, he tied it on a single to right field. Marsh scores. Harper then got on for Bohm, and look at where Harper's at. He's in scoring position, so yep, that makes sense. Bohm was not done there, but I do have to show the 2-timers dead center home run. Bryce now has 11 on the season and 317 for his career. Ranger, he went back out for the 7th, and he wanted to tie a career high in strikeouts, and he did. Leote, he strikes out looking. That's 10 strikeouts for Ranger Suarez, who is now 9-0 with a 1.36 ERA through 10 starts. Hoffman, he did allow a home run to Corey Seager, and Seager owes someone like $22.50 for making their nachos explode and fall into the field. All of a sudden, it's a 1-run game, but Alec, he's up with a runner in scoring position. How is he doing this? He's hitting like .415 with 37 RBIs in those situations. Alvarado, he struck out Seager to end it, which, by the way, it was Alvarado's 29th birthday, so he celebrated in style. The Rangers fall to 5 games back of first place, and if Atlanta doesn't beat the Cubs, they'll be 6 games back of the Phillies. Now, Atlanta fans were feeling pretty optimistic after seeing Orlando Arcia delete a 2-run home run. He hit it into the jet stream, 420 feet. Charlie Morton, he forgot that his mission is to keep a lead. He was supposed to not do that. Tauchman had an RBI single, and Belly, well, he didn't do anything but watch a ball skip past them. We're knotted up again. Well, we were. Michael Harris, he went yard the other way. He does not need any help from the wind on that swing. Tauchman, he's going to try Harris in center, and you can see the wind blowing on the green ivy. What a catch. Harris saves a run, and then the wind actually played a factor here. Zach Short, he dropped a routine fly ball, but nothing's routine with that win. Tauchman, he hit it away from Michael Harris. Great idea. The Cubs, they tie it back up at 3-3. Seiya, he tried Harris, and you just should not do that. Harris, he had the shoestring catch that saves a few more runs. The Cubs, their bullpen, they dialed it up in the 7th. Mark Leiter Jr., I think he struck out 3 in a row to end a big threat. The Cubs, they were threatening as well. It's just that Happ, he smoked the ball straight to Olsen, who needed all of that 6'5" frame to snag it. Then he doubles off Christopher Morel. Ronald, he tried to get the rally going, but Seiya, he flew in and scooped it just barely off the ground, and that halted any possible rally from the Braves. Chicago held the Braves scoreless in the 10th, and this Nico Tapper is going to do it. That was one of the highest tappers I've ever seen. The Cubs are 1.5 games back of the Brewers for first place, while Atlanta, they do in fact fall to 6 games back of the Phillies. The AL Central is setting itself up to be a fun race the rest of the way, and that's really because Cleveland is shocking everyone, and the Royals, they look absolutely legit. Bobby Witt Jr. had a career night. After Maikel Garcia tripled, Bobby knocked him home for his first of 6 RBIs. You heard that right. He had 6. I didn't realize that Salvi was almost hitting 470 with runners in scoring position. He upped that with a single to score Bobby. Bobby stepped back in just an inning later. How about 468 feet? This ball went into the fountains. He's got 4 RBIs after an RBI single and the longest home run of his career. Maikel Garcia got greedy. He wanted another triple. He gets his second of the game. This time he drove in a run. Garcia, he can absolutely fly. So Bobby, instead of having a fly ball, it's now a sac fly for his 5th RBI of the night. And after setting a career high in home run distance, he ties a career high in RBIs. He has 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, and a stolen base. He's hitting .305 with 7 home runs, 16 stolen bases, and 8 outs above average defensively already. He just passed Mookie Betts for top 3 in F4. Hunter Renfroe, he made it a double-digit scoring day on his 4th, and he somehow has 18 RBIs despite the fact that he's hitting 160. The Royals are one of the best teams in baseball at being clutch. Their batting average with runners in scoring position is really impressive. So this next game aged me a few years, and that's not just because of what happened in the game, but because I also just saw what the Royals did, and it's horrifying. This is now a must-win game. Brian Rocchio, he was blessed by the baseball gods. He gets an RBI triple right here. He brings home Bo Naylor, and then the birthday boy Tyler Freeman, he turned on a pitch to rip an RBI double. Rocchio scores. J-Ram, he had the right idea of hitting it to Marte, who took an awful route to that baseball. Marte lets it drop for Cleveland's 3rd run, but here comes the Mets. Mark Vientos, he's earning himself a lot of playing time. I think he has 4 or 5 extra base hits in the last handful of games. Lindor, his first hit back in Cleveland makes it a 1-run game. That's the swing that could maybe unlock something for him. Now, what did I just see? J-Ram, he hit a baseball at his eyeballs. Hauser, I don't know why he's still out there. And also, I don't know why they're not walking J-Ram with first base open. That's very confusing. But Jose now has 600 career extra base hits. That's a big one. And that's because Mark Vientos, he smoked another extra base hit. And McNeil, he went lefty-lefty. So it's 5-4. And they left in Adrian Hauser to face the lefty Brennan, who singled. Then they brought in a lefty Diekman to face the right-handed David Fry. I guess that's what analytics said to do, but it did backfire a lot. Every day is Friday in Cleveland. David Fry's 2-run home run sealed the Mets' fate. Diekman was chucking water coolers in the dugout. Marte, he did make up for that awful route. He smokes a 2-run home run to make it a 1-run game, but Pete Alonso, he bounces into a double play to end it. And Clase, I think he owns an MLB best 15 saves. Cleveland is 15 games over 500, yet they're only 1.5 games ahead of the Royals because the Royals are actually legit. They have a plus 67 run differential. That's better than Cleveland. So before I show the Dodgers and Diamondbacks game, the team meeting that the Twins had actually worked, and poor Washington had to be the witnesses of that. Byron Buxton and Jose Miranda, they both hit baseballs very far for starter Joe Ryan. We'll talk about Joe in just a second. Buxton went the other way, and then the cousin of Lin-Manuel Miranda, the guy who made Hamilton, Jose Miranda, he teed off for a 2-run home run. Jose was insane in 2022, awful last year. Now he has 4 home runs and an almost 800 OPS on the season this year. That home run went 411, and this next one, wow, Buxton, he had a 2-run Oppo Taco, nearly 425 feet. Minnesota, they got a few more after Santana had an RBI double. He scores on a wild pitch. So if you're doing the math, it's 8-0 now. This 2-run home run from Willie Castro gets the Twins to double digits. Willie has 4 home runs, 6 stolen bases, and an almost .330 on base percentage. Joe Ryan, can't forget about him. He struck out 6 over 7 shutout, only 3 base hits allowed. Minnesota, they win big for their 25th W, which gives Rocco Baldelli his 400th career managerial win. Good for him. Okay, actually, before we show the LA game, I do have to showcase some freaks of nature. O'Neal Cruz and Mason Miller, again, they're breaking StatCast. Okay, I swear, it gets better after O'Neal Cruz. Yes, he does boot the ball and a run scores, but the sun was brutal. There he is. O'Neal, he ripped, and I mean, he ripped a 120.4 mile per hour single, which is now the hardest hit baseball of the year. He then went 116.3 on a double. By the way, I do have to show these home runs from Tyro Estrada and Matt Chapman. Tyro's was a 3-run jack, and Chapman, that was a moonshot 415 feet off his bat. So the Giants are up 6-2 after 9, and all hell is about to break loose. Camilo Doval had the night off, but because Luke Jackson completely imploded, he's now in the game. G1 Bay, he singled. McCutchen, he got bailed big time after Marco Luciano dropped a tailor-made double play. The run scores, not a single out was recorded. Marco got another chance, but Reynolds' speed means that there's no double play. Another run scores. It's now a 1-run ball game. We get the battle of the Titans. Camilo Doval throws 1,000,000 miles an hour. Cruz can hit one 1,000,000 miles an hour. Cruz wins that battle. He rips a double down the line. He ties it at 6-6, and he just beat his own record. That ball left the bat at 100 and 21.5 miles an hour. In one single game, he had 3 hits of 115 plus miles an hour. He's the first player to ever do that in the StatCast era. More free baseball. I feel like we go to extras a lot nowadays. Rookie Nick Gonzalez, he showed off the clutch gene again. He's been very, very impressive. He walks it off. The Pirates, they're now 4-1 over their last 5 games. We're going to speed run to Mason Miller. Let's see how he factored in this A's and Rockies game. Ryan McMahon is a damn cheat code. He has 8 home runs and 22 RBIs. And right after J.D. Davis sent out a home run of his own, Ezequiel Tovar, he blasted away for his first of 2 home runs. That ball went 443 feet on a changeup in Oakland. We are not in Colorado. That is insanely impressive. And oh my God, what was that? That ball almost bounced off the dirt. I know he went 443 on the first swing, but I think that's even more impressive. Ezequiel Tovar now has 7 home runs and 3 outs above average. He is quickly becoming a star at 22 years old. Cal Quantrill, his 8 strikeout gem was ruined by the bullpen because Justin Lawrence, again, is the worst nasty pitcher I've ever seen. That's a 2-run home run to Seth Brown. Abraham Toro, he caught a barrel as well. So Oakland, they're now up 1. You know what that means. It's Miller time. He got Jordan Beck on the 101 fastball. Mason's slider was so nasty that both Chuck Nasty and the catcher Shea missed it, but luckily Shea recovered. And sheesh, Mason Miller, he gets Tovar on 103 off the plate. He strikes out the side again. Ladies and gentlemen, Mason Miller has 40 strikeouts over his last 19 innings. He has a negative 0.38 FIP over that stretch. He's 9 for 9 in saves. He has a 1.5 WAR. He is one of the nastiest relievers this game has ever seen. The Diamondbacks had 4 consecutive base hits in the second. The third and fourth were RBI knocks from Suarez and Moreno. Brandon Pfaadt, he had a no-hitter until it was ruined by none other than the Unicorn himself, and then the Unicorn scored all by himself. Ohtani is so good. Arizona got that run back on a Marte ground out, and Christian Walker, my goodness, he has 13 home runs now in Dodger Stadium. Ohtani, he's back for more damage against Brandon Pfaadt. He singles in a run. He then stole his second base of the game. He has 13 stolen bases, by the way, if you guys are wondering. That 13th bag got him in scoring position. Will Smith, he was grateful. He plates Ohtani to bring it back to a 1-run game. Ketel Marte, he's still looking for a base hit. He's 1 hit away from a 20-game hit streak, and there it is. Jock turned back the clock. He hit a home run in his former stadium. He launched a 3-run nuke. He had the bat flip and everything. He hit 130 home runs as a Dodger. I'm kind of missing him in that Dodger blue, I'm not going to lie. By the way, he's 8 home runs away from 200 for his career. Paul Sewald, he finishes off the Dodgers in a non-save opportunity. The Diamondbacks, they need the Padres to lose. Why is that? For some reason, I've just kind of forgotten to talk about the wild card race this year, but a Padres loss will put the Diamondbacks 1 game back of the final wild card spot in the NL. Andrew Abbott, he was looking locked in early. It just really seemed like one of those days where he would only need a run or 2 to win. India and Benson, they both got on in the second, and both guys advanced after Musgrove tried to get cute and pick off India, and I feel terrible for this. I said, who the hell is this guy? When I saw him in the box score, I said, who is Jacob Hurtubise? I don't know who this is, but I kind of feel bad for saying that, but he lifts a sac fly that wasn't a sac fly because Profar actually hosed India, but Campusano, he made the error, he dropped it. Ellie De La Cruz, his second base hit of the game, is a fun one because he scores Benson to make it 2-0, and we got to see Ellie's speed versus Tatis's rocket arm. Ellie's just in there, he gets the double, and he needed this game because he was 0 for 13 with 8 strikeouts over his last 3. The Padres, that's not good. Manny, he strikes out, and then Profar is now a sitting duck. I guess it was a hit and run or something like that. A little strike him out, throw him out. Andrew Abbott, he was fantastic. He lowers his season ERA to 2.6 after 7 shutout. Alexis Diaz, he's trying to hit the reset button. He's been awful. He struck out Manny, and Cronenworth bounced into a double play, so the Reds broadcaster, he let out a hallelujah because the Padres just lost. The Diamondbacks are, in fact, 1 game back of that final wildcard spot. The Reds, they're only 3.5 games back. Here we go. William Contreras got Milwaukee on the board. He just will not stop breaking. Blake Perkins, he added to their lead. He scores Gary Scary. What did I just say? He scores Scary Gary. There we go. Otto Lopez, he's been fantastic. He's been so good for them ever since they picked him up basically for free. I think that the Giants DFA'd him. Is that Contreras again? It is. William, he plates 2 more. So he now has an even 40 RBIs on the year. Miami, they made it a game again. Otto Lopez, he bunted to advance Jazz, but Jazz, he was not slowing down. That's why he's a cover athlete on MLB The Show. He is as electric as it gets as a baseball player. He's so much fun. Miami, they actually stole the lead for like 13 seconds when Yelich snatched it right back on a triple. That ball hit Yelly as he was kind of advancing to third base, so that's why it was pretty much a stand-up triple. And then on this next swing, Adames hit it hard enough to make Rivera not be able to get in front. He misses it. Milwaukee has a slight scare, but they bounce back to win it. The Cubs, they could not gain a game in the NL Central standings. After Isaac Paredes pulled his 9 millionth extra base hit to left field, that is a real fact, look it up. The Rays took a 2-run lead, but Boston, they really locked them down over the next 8 innings. Cooper Criswell, he did not allow allow a single run after that. The Red Sox tied it on a single from Vaughn Grissom and a huge home run from Jarren Duran. The new leg kick and stride has turned Jarren Duran into a legit power hitter. That ball went 430, and since making the change on the 15th, he's hitting 370 with 2 home runs, 4 doubles, 2 triples. That's 8 extra base hits in 7 games. Willie Abreu, he tacked on an RBI. He placed the speedy Rafaela and Devers. He was intentionally walked, so his home run streak ends at 6 games. And check this out. Devers, he stole second. He avoids the tag, and Duran steals home. This kid is turning into Grady Sizemore 2.0. He's got 24 extra base hits, 11 stolen bases, and 6 outs above average. Reese McGuire, he spanked another home run. That joke will never get old. If you know, you know. Boston, they close it out on Jansen's 428th career save. The Red Sox have now won 3 in a row, and for the first time since 2019, they win a series in Tampa Bay. Seattle is making Yankees fans question their team just a tiny bit. Dylan Moore, he launched a 2-run home run, but I guess he had some help because Clark Schmidt, the pitcher for the Yankees, he said that he was tipping pitches and that Josh Rojas at second base was feeding him the pitch before it was actually thrown. Brian Wu, he's been a man on a mission to begin 2024. He wants to be the ace, and the crazy part is he could be by the end of the season, which is crazy because they already have guys like George Kirby, Logan Gilbert, Luis Castillo. This kid went 6 shutout on 7 strikeouts. He's allowed just 1 run and 6 hits over his first, 3 starts? He's only 24 years old. That rotation for the Mariners is shaping up to be an all-timer. Ty France, he corked a no-doubt home run, and man, did he really enjoy it. Dylan Moore, he drove in his 3rd RBI of the night. Moore is finally breaking out fully and reaching his ceiling because look at this. After Gleyber Torres made it a brand new ball game on a clutch 3-run home run, that was fun. Luke Raley, he went yard. By the way, Luke Raley's hitting 400 with 4 home runs and 9 RBIs over his last 14 games. Dylan Moore is at it again. He tucks in the Yankees. He says night-night. Moore now has 6 home runs, 6 stolen bases, a 150 OPS plus. Munoz, he's out there for the 3rd time in 4 days. He got Oswaldo to chase for his 10th save. I think that this series is more about the Mariners than it does about the Yankees. Like, the Yankees are amazing, but so are the Mariners. The White Sox are not amazing, and neither was that play from Ernie Clement. Corey Lee, he got on, and Nicky Lopez, he placed it perfectly. Lee, he had a perfect slide. He scores from second base. Again, that was a fantastic slide. The other Corey Jolks, he placed 2 after Eloy doubled, and Eloy, he hurt himself running home, which really sucks. The dude cannot catch a break. Justin Turner stepped in 0 for his last 30. Luckily, that double right there kind of breaks him out of it, but Garrett, he bared down and got Varsho looking. He cooked for 6 shutout. This dude is so good. Danny Mendick had a 2-run double in the 8th inning to push it to a 5-run lead, so he ruins Kopech and his chance for a save, and Kopech looked lethal. 1 strikeout on 101. There was a 2nd strikeout. That's on a slider, so the exact same sequence as Mason Miller. Then he gets Vladdy frozen on a fastball. That's a strikeout of the side. Michael Kopech literally has the stuff to be Mason Miller-esque. He just really has to find the arm slot consistency. But a crazy fun fact about the Blue Jays, they don't have a single home run from their cleanup hitter. They're hitting .214 with runners in scoring position. All of that results in a opposing GM leaking the fact that the Blue Jays are now shopping Bo Bichette and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. They are both free agents in 2026. Apparently, the rumor is right now that the Jays are pretty much giving up. They're thinking that if they can get other teams to overpay for a Bo Bichette and a Vladimir Guerrero Jr., the retooling process will be a whole lot shorter. So let me know in the comments down below, what do you make of opposing GMs leaking the fact that the Toronto Blue Jays are shopping their faces of the franchise? Is that cool, or is that crossing a line? So that does it for today's recap. It was a big one. Thank you so much for watching until the end, and if we do hit 500,000 today, I just want to say thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Enjoy the web gems.
Reaches for that and sends it out to Acuna, who goes back to the warning track and makes a great catch.
Sharply hit. Mason dives to his right. Scrambles and he fires in time. Long run for Corbin. Here he comes. Corbin Carroll.
Johnny Brito. And it's on the ground to the backhand of the third baseman Machado. Off balance throw across his body.
Center field. Shallow. No one's racing in. Freeman makes the catch.
For Volpe. Line drive into the gap. Right center field. 10 zone. Flying.
Right side, a ways to go for Garcia. He'll slide into it and come up throwing.
2-1 pitch, and that's a soft liner over short around third base Marsh. Here comes a throw from Duran. Great arm. The tag.
Fastball lays toward third. Garcia makes a one-hop stop on a slide. Gets to his feet, throws to first, and finishes off the 6th inning.
MVP voting. Oh, what a play. The leap by Cabrera.